I like what Francis Crowe is suggesting. I think, why are we rushing this? What is the big rush? Why can't we all sit down as a community, which we're saying, let's work together with the veterans agent and whoever we have to work with, all the groups out there, and make the right decision. Put in, I know it's probably not going to be making everybody happy, but I think it'll make a big percentage of people happy on this. I mean, I'm not going to say that I want to not recommend this without recommendation to City Council. I am going to say, and I don't know what these two councilors are going to say, but I'm going to recommend that I send it to full City Council of asking that we look at this very, very carefully and that we have more of a dialogue. I don't want it to go dead.
I just have to say this. This resolution talks about the financial support of the troops in the war. May I remind everyone, how long did it take for our troops to get the appropriate amount of bulletproof vests in our vehicles? As a mother whose only son is going and has gone to Afghanistan, I want the best for my child and anybody else's child. How are Northampton residents that are going over there supposed to feel when their own hometown does not agree with their mission? How are they supposed to feel? I mean, put yourself in their shoes, over there, far away.
Been there, done that.
You know what? I cannot support this. I will not support this. I'd like to see this go to City Council with I would recommend disapproval of this ordinance, or this resolution, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I understand what everyone's trying to do. I don't like that we have this going on. This war is costing families a lot. Believe me, I know. But these events were planned in Afghanistan. It's the epicenter of where these events were planned, and I can't support this.
Right, I would rather see it that we refer this out of committee and submit it with no recommendation. And then talk about the reasons why you're not recommending it.
Why can't we take the lead Agawam? I cut this article out of the paper, and I was so appreciative of Agawam. There's a pact to benefit troops' families. What they're doing to support their troops. They're helping military families in the city whose loved ones are deployed with such things as childcare and transportation, and among local ways people can take part in the community covenant signed recently by the mayor with the Army. Why aren't we taking a different stand on this? This just feels so negative, and it does not send the right message to our troops. It doesn't, and I understand that maybe folks think it is, but it's not.
So you're making a recommendation. You're recommending with disapproval. What are you recommending?
Well,
There's many choices.
I
just don't want to say and make it go dead in this committee, because I feel that if we do, because there will be full debate, there's no question about it at City Council. I mean, if we can get this to outside and open it up to the public again with our veterans agent, which you heard that veterans agent talk about, where he thought there was so much value of putting it back in place again and talking about the financial part of it, talking about the money part of it was very crucial, and also about the care of the veterans and so forth. I mean, it's such a controversial issue right now that
under the be it further resolved, which is oppose all legislation brought before the U.S. House of Representatives and Senate. Oppose all legislation that provides further funding to the U.S. war for U.S. military occupation in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, while supporting funds for reconstruction. I'm not qualified to make that decision. Absolutely not qualified to do that. Take strong and forceful action to influence the full U.S. House of Representatives to terminate funding for these military operations. Terminate funding for these military operations. To sign onto and support resolutions that prohibit any increase in the number of troops in Afghanistan. I can't do it. I'm not qualified. As written, I won't support it. There needed, and I was a little upset at the public forum that we had, that there was no back and forth, there was no dialogue.
Well, that's why it was a hearing.
I know.
And this is
And I
why
don't
I'm
think there's been that. First off, the petition was supposed to come forward, and the resolution was supposed to be produced. Is that correct? First off, the petition was supposed to come forward, and then the resolution.
We were told the petition was supposed to come first, and then it was asking city council to come forward with a resolution. Now, when former councilor Michael Birdsley, we have worked on resolutions before, where we've sat down and had a little workshop and did the language on it, okay? And this just came in with the way it is. I don't know. If you want to, what do you want to do? You want to recommend it with disapproval, or do you want to refer this out of committee as submitted with no recommendation? I would feel better with no recommendation, and then give the reasons why on the floor.
I still think that, city councilors, we should be focusing, we have so many big issues right now that we're dealing with. Balancing the budget without a need of an override, learning what to do with our waste. We have huge issues that are before us, and this issue, I don't think that it's under our purview in a lot of ways. I think on some ways it is, and I respect everyone that put this together. And I do have to say that when I did open my packet that week, I was surprised that all of a sudden I had received one phone call on it and did look at the language of it, but it was a petition at that point.
Exactly.
And when all of a sudden it was in my packet, I was surprised. And I was also surprised that so many counselors' names were on this. As a counselor who's been critiqued for open meeting, I was surprised at that. I was surprised that so many people were on this.
That's why Councilor Michael Birdsley was surprised that this came to city council
well,
first.
I guess there were a lot of surprises with this, but.
And that's why I'm saying to keep it open, because one way or another, it's gonna come to city council, and there'll be a full debate on it. So it could pass there on the floor.
It would stay open whether we recommend disapproval or not. It's still gonna go to city council.
Exactly, but I don't wanna say that I completely disapprove of this, because there are some things here that I do approve of.
Maybe it's a
And
lack of
this
debate
is what
or a
it
lack.
is. The city of Northampton will sponsor public discussion about the cost of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, Pakistan to our community through education, okay, transporting security and basic citizens' needs. And be it therefore, the city of Northampton will all the rest of that stuff, but this is exactly what Francis Crowe is saying. The city of Northampton will sponsor public discussion. And this is exactly what this veterans agent, and she is saying. We had a hearing, okay? Both sides, who agreed and who didn't agree, came forth to say what they felt. That was it. The hearing was closed. I feel now it's so controversial that we need to move on, either which way in city council. Do we go further? Do we say, okay, we're gonna end it, redo it over again, do the language over again, or if not, are we gonna go ahead and have more dialogue? And to me, more dialogue is precious to me than just making something just go dead. That's my feelings toward it.
If I wanted to compare this to something, we had a lot of dialogue, such as the Bean Farm Task Force. I got 3,700 emails over the course of those meetings. I've gotten 2 emails from constituents on this, just 2.
That we're supportive of it.
Supported, and I don't have, I don't know, I don't have the information on here. I can't, I'm not gonna support it at this point.